No one, even the president, is above the law. Barbara Comstock has beaten every politician. I'm different.
Tonight, the president punts, holding his own event. After disinviting the champion Philadelphia Eagles, instead, many in the crowd today for the president, White House staffers, calling it a celebration of America after he learned only a handful of Eagles players were going to come. And tonight, the controversy over this image. The player praying before a game, speaking out now after this image was used to make it look like the Eagles were kneeling during the anthem. The urgent alert at this hour from authorities: volcanic debris is coming down yet again. And new images tonight, families trying to outrun giant plumes of ash, some buried alive. The heartbreaking headline here in New York City tonight, a name known to so many, designer Kate Spade, famous for her handbags and women's accessories, found dead inside her apartment. The letter she left behind. New tonight, what the judge is now saying involving Paul Manafort after Robert Mueller's team accused him of tampering with witnesses while he was under house arrest, allegedly trying to get them to lie. The major change tonight involving the Miss America pageant, what you will never see again. And the doctor under investigation, dancing while operating. Patients now suing, alleging their procedures went terribly wrong.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with President Trump and his own event held at the White House today after pulling his invite for the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. The president abruptly canceling their visit after most of the players said they would not be coming. President Trump rebranding the day as a celebration of America, attacking players who kneel during the national anthem. But the Eagles say they were a team that did not kneel last season. And tonight, the controversy over this image. Eagles star Zach Ertz praying long before the anthem with other players. He's now getting an apology for the way he was portrayed. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles were supposed to be here. Instead, it was just President Trump, hand on heart, singing the national anthem. The president disinvited the whole team after learning that fewer than 10 players were planning to show up. Instead, he held what he called a celebration of America, many in the crowd, White House and government employees.
We always will stand for the national anthem.
The White House said the Eagles, quote, disagree with their president because he insists that they proudly stand for the national anthem. But the Eagles were one team where no players ever kneeled for the national anthem last season. Today, Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins said the decision was made to lie and paint the picture that these players are anti-America, anti-flag, and anti-military.
Is the president aware that not a single player on the Eagles through the entire season knelt for the national anthem?
The president's position on not just the anthem has been clear, but let's not forget this isn't there were 80 members of the Eagles organization that RSVP'd and committed to attend this event as recently as Friday.
Why is he acting like this is about the national anthem?
Look, if this wasn't a political stunt by the Eagles franchise, then they wouldn't have planned to attend the event and then backed out at the last minute.
The president has been talking about the anthem controversy since last September, lashing out at players who protested police misconduct and social injustice by taking a knee.
Get that son of a off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
The issue fired up many of his core supporters. Just yesterday, Fox News showed this image of Eagles players it suggested were kneeling during the anthem.
The Philadelphia Eagles will not be visiting the White House tomorrow to celebrate their Super Bowl victory due to the national anthem controversy.
But wait, those players weren't kneeling during the anthem. They were praying before the game. This can't be serious, Eagles tight end Zach Ertz tweeted. Praying before games with my teammates well before the anthem is being used for your propaganda. Fox later admitted the error and apologized. But with the NBA Finals now underway, don't count on the winner showing up at the White House.
It's typical of him. I'm not surprised. I know no matter who wins this series, no one wants to invite anyway, so it won't be Golden State or Cleveland going.
I agree with Brian.
John Karl with us live tonight from the White House. And John, the Eagles spent today practicing in Philadelphia. I know the mayor of Philadelphia did not hold back with his opinion today.
He sure did. Mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kenney, issued a statement responding to the president's treatment of the Eagles, saying, quote, "Disinviting them from the White House only proves that our president is not a true patriot, but a fragile egomaniac obsessed with crowd size and afraid of embarrassment of throwing a party to which no one wants to attend." That the word, David, from the mayor of Philadelphia.
John Carl at the White House. Thank you, John. The other major developing headline at this hour, the new warning tonight, the volcano emergency in Guatemala getting worse. Volcanic debris coming down yet again at this hour. The death toll rising today, and we have new images tonight showing a wall of ash erupting from underground. People on the road there scrambling for their lives. Tonight, more on that warning just issued, and ABC's Victor Akendo is on the ground for us again tonight.
Tonight, Guatemala's volcano of fire is erupting yet again, causing massive evacuations. Rescue crews sent in to find survivors having to flee to save their own lives. This was the moment the volcano violently erupted days ago, devastating nearby towns. Fire shooting into the sky while floods of molten lava tear down the mountainside, the thick plume of ash and rock towering over this nearby resort. And tonight, the death toll is on the rise. At least 70 confirmed deaths, with many more expected. This as tragic stories like Lillian Hernandez's start to emerge. Hernandez says 36 members of her family are gone, an unimaginable loss. Town after town preserved at the moment of destruction as crews break through tin roofs looking for signs of life. Cars and homes caked in thick coats of mud. Meanwhile, just outside El Rodeo, heart-wrenching wait for those who lost family, like Norma Ascon, who can't find her two sons, her father, or her mother. Some 1,800 people now staying in shelters like this one. Eric Ortiz and his family now staying here because it's too dangerous to return home. David, many of the cars behind me are filled with people evacuating. First responders were searching for survivors at the time of that new eruption. They too had to evacuate. Everyone heeding the government's warning, trying to prevent further loss. David?
Victor Akendo again tonight. Thank you, Victor. And back here at home now, and a stunning and sad headline here in New York City tonight. Well-known designer Kate Spade was found dead in her apartment today. Her death an apparent suicide. She did leave a letter behind, and here's ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, shock and sadness here in Manhattan's Upper East Side. NYPD removing the body of famed fashion designer Kate Spade from her home. Police say the 55-year-old was found by a housekeeper in her bedroom.
There was a suicide note left at the scene.
The Kansas City native launched her iconic brand in 1993 with Andy Spade, who later became her husband.
Well, my husband and I both knew we wanted to start a business. He said, handbags, you love handbags.
Selling her stake in 2007, the brand still strong enough to attract the likes of Taylor Swift and Kate Middleton.
Hi, I'm Kate Valentine Spade.
In 2016, Spade re-entered the fashion world, launching a new brand called Frances Valentine, talking about it here with her husband in one of her final interviews, both appearing happy.
I was up for the challenge. I hope.
Industry analysts say the new brand struggled to match Spade's former successes.
And Eva Pilgrim with us here in New York tonight. And Eva, we're now hearing from Kate Spade's family tonight and the company too.
That's right, David. In a statement, a spokesperson for her family saying, "We are all devastated by today's tragedy. We loved Kate dearly and will miss her terribly." The Kate Spade Company calling her a visionary tonight and saying they honor the beauty she brought into the world. David.
Eva Pilgrim tonight. Thank you, Eva. Next this evening, a judge now weighing in tonight after a major development last night involving Paul Manafort. Special counsel Robert Mueller is now accusing the former Trump campaign chairman of witness tampering from home while he was under house arrest. Mueller now asking a judge to consider revoking Manafort's bail and sending him to jail. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
He's been under house arrest for months, but tonight President Trump's former campaign chairman Paul Manafort may soon be heading to jail. Federal prosecutors now accusing him of witness tampering. Prosecutors say Manafort and a person believed to be a former Russian intelligence officer contacted two witnesses by phone and using encrypted text messages, trying to get them to lie about his lobbying work for Ukrainian politicians with ties to Vladimir Putin. One witness making the explosive claim Manafort was trying to, quote, suborn perjury.
Mr. Manafort, did you commit a crime?
Manafort is charged with bank fraud and money laundering. It's been nearly a year since the FBI raided his home, while he was still in bed.
I've always found Paul Manafort to be a very decent man, but I thought that was that was pretty tough stuff.
Mr. President,
to wake him up, perhaps his family was there, I think that's pretty tough stuff.
But over the weekend, a very different tone. The president fuming the FBI should have informed him before the election they were suspicious of Manafort's overseas connections. Tweeting, "Why wouldn't the FBI or the Department of Justice have told me they were secretly investigating Paul Manafort? Should have told me." The president's friend, Chris Christie, a former federal prosecutor, disagrees.
I don't care what you were running for. We're not telling you. We're not a private investigation firm to help you with vetting your people who you employ in your campaign.
Pierre Thomas with us live in Washington tonight. And Pierre, Paul Manafort has until Friday, we know now, to respond to the accusations of witness tampering here. But bigger picture, with this new threat of possible jail time instead of house arrest, Manafort is facing mounting pressure here. Possible jail, fight this, or flip for Robert Mueller?
David, there's no question that the special counsel is ramping up the pressure on Manafort. But tonight, Manafort is pushing back, his spokesman releasing a statement that Manafort is, quote, innocent and nothing about these allegations changes our defense. We will do our talking in court. David?
Indicating the fight will go on. Pierre, thank you. Now to the crackdown at the border. News tonight about hundreds of children separated from their parents. ABC News reporting here last week on a mother and her 14-year-old son separated more than 8 months ago. She had not seen him since. She's accused of trying to illegally enter the U.S. She's applying for asylum. Well, tonight, word that they have been reunited now. And this evening, what happened when a senator tried to get a tour of a former Walmart where children are now believed to be held? Here's ABC's chief national affairs correspondent, Tom Yamas.
Tonight, new pressure on the Trump administration and their zero-tolerance policy for illegal immigration.
Behind those doors inside that Walmart are apparently many hundreds of children.
Senator Jeff Merkley traveling to the border over the weekend, trying to get inside this government facility he says is holding children who were separated from their parents after crossing the border illegally.
Can you please give me a tour of it?
A tour? Police soon arriving on the scene.
What was your name again, sir? I'm sorry, Senator Jeff Merkley.
And Senator Merkley not allowed in.
The children are being separated from their families, warehoused here.
One of those families separated profiled here last week. We brought you the story of Jocelyn, who told us she was fleeing an abusive husband back in Brazil. But when she crossed illegally into the U.S. with her 14-year-old son James back in August of last year, immigration officials took her child away. She says, he looked at me like, "Mom, help me, because I don't know where they're taking me." Her son taken more than 1,000 miles away to a refugee center in Chicago while she is seeking asylum. But today, after 8 months of separation, mother and son back in each other's arms. The government finally reuniting them. The Trump administration has recently separated around 700 children from their parents. It's part of an enforcement tactic under a hardline immigration policy.
If you don't want your child to be separated, then don't bring them across the border illegally.
Tom Yamas continuing his reporting on this. And Tom, the Trump administration continues to argue that they're prosecuting the crime of illegal border crossing here.
That's right, David, and they say they cannot send those kids to jail, so that's why in those cases the children are being separated. Now, as for Senator Merkley, the Trump administration is taking a lot of offense to his trip and what he said there on the border, saying he did not follow the proper protocol, in some cases not giving those facilities advance notice so they could accommodate him once he arrived. David?
Tom Yamas on this again tonight. Thank you, Tom. And next here this evening, the showdown on Capitol Hill. Senators grilling Education Secretary Betsy DeVos about President Trump's School Safety Commission. She revealed the commission will not look at the role of guns used in school violence. The commission formed after the deadly high school shooting in Parkland. 17 people were killed in February there. DeVos's comments then led to a tense exchange with Senator Patrick Leahy.
Will your commission look at the role of firearms as it relates to gun violence in our schools?
That is not part of the commission's charge per se.
I see. You're studying gun violence but not considering the role of guns.
We're actually studying school safety and how we can ensure our students are safe at school.
There have been 5 deadly school shootings reported since Parkland, including 10 killed in Santa Fe, Texas, just about 2 weeks ago. Next tonight, Harvey Weinstein was arraigned today on sex assault charges here in New York City. Weinstein appearing to limp into court this morning. He pleaded not guilty to rape and a criminal sex act. He's accused of attacking 2 women in 2004 and 2013.